Hi guys, my name is Motivated Lucas. Welcome to Mental Health episode number 2, Navigating Negative Self-Talk. The first thing I want to talk to you guys about today with this is our inner voice. Our inner voice happens to be the most critical thing that I think we have when it comes to it kind of telling us bad things, but not translating it out loud. And I'm going to give you guys a couple of examples of negative self-talk and then what you might be able to replace those things with instead. So the first example is going to be, I am not good enough. Now that's a negative example. The positive example that I think I would recommend saying instead is, I bring my own unique strengths to the table. I think that's a perfect positive example of what you could replace it with. And sometimes when our inner voice says something, we need to speak the positive things out loud so that we can hear it for ourselves. I think it is more effective that way. So now I'm just going to talk to you guys about a few negative examples and how you might be able to replace some of your negative inner thoughts with some positive ones. Things like, I am a failure. Why am I not smart enough? And fear of embarrassing yourself. I'm going to give you an experienced example of me feeling like I might embarrass myself. So I live in a tourist or outside of a tourist town, and a lot of the shows around here are country shows. And so a couple of years ago, I bought a cowboy hat, but I only wore it a couple of times because I was feared that I'd embarrass myself, or that people might be like, he only bought that because everybody else is wearing one, or so on and so forth. But then I realized that's something I'm going to be working on this year, is wearing that to shows regardless. And it's just a part of the appearance or the outfit you want to wear for an occasion. So this is what I fear, because I fear that maybe I won't look good or I won't fit the image to be able to wear this. But this year, we're going to change that. So if you're nervous about wearing something new because you think that other people might judge you or say something that make you might feel embarrassed, or like, why did I wear that kind of thing? Don't listen to them and don't listen to that inner voice, because all that matters is that you feel good about the way that you are dressed or the outfit you chose for the occasion that night. So that is a negative and hopefully a positive example that I can use and set for myself. Some other things to replace negative thoughts with some of these things. Here are some examples of positive thoughts. You have to focus on progress and not perfection. And things like, I have what it takes to figure it out. And my favorite one, I am proud of how far I have come. These are ways that I feel like you could take whatever your inner voice is telling you that is negative and speak into existence something more positive. And like I said, maybe speak it out loud. That way, maybe you can not only change your inner voice thoughts, but also your outspoken thoughts. So now I want to talk about negative examples of things that we may all struggle with. And then, obviously I will give some examples on positive ways to maybe change that. Now, here is something that I struggle with the most, is talking about things and then apologizing for it. Thinking, man, I never should have said anything. Instead of saying that, what I should be telling myself is, I am allowed to speak and exist without apologizing. Which is true. We shouldn't have to apologize where an apology isn't necessarily needed. And I almost feel like if someone is making me feel like I should be apologizing for taking up time or whatever, then they're probably not somebody I should be speaking to at all. But it also comes down to saying things like, I'm sorry for bothering you, or thinking that if you ask for help, you're gonna come off weak, or thinking things like they're better off without me, which isn't true. And lastly, one of the things that I also struggle with quite a lot, that if somebody sees that I am struggling, they're going to run the opposite direction and decide that they don't want to be around me anymore because maybe they don't want to deal with it or they can't deal with it. But in my head, it's they don't want to deal with it. And instead of thinking those things, replacing them with something positive, such as, my presence has value. And also, I don't actually know what others are thinking, and that's okay. It's okay to kind of talk yourself into being like, I don't know what they're actually thinking. So when you start to think or say things negative, whether it be your inner voice out loud or, however, you know, try not to go directly to the negative stuff if you can help it. And like I said, as somebody who struggles with that as well, it's one of those things that's easier said than done. But I feel like the more you say it, the more you may start to believe it and feel it as well. At least that's how it works for me. It might be worth a try if it could help you. Things like I also showed up, and that's what counts. I think showing up and making any kind of effort is perfectly enough. And if somebody else doesn't see it that way, I would go ahead and assume that that's a them problem. I know that may come off as kind of rude, but I'm not intending it to. But I'm not sure that there is a non-rude version of that to say. And also, just because you need a connection, that does not mean you are a burden. So if you ever have thoughts of like, I'm a burden, I think that replacing it with something like that could be a positive effect, especially when speaking it out loud and trying to train your brain into thinking those things as well. That can, kind of shift the energy as far as something like that is concerned. And again, I know sometimes things are easier said than done, but remember, progress, not perfection. And also, struggling doesn't mean that you are weak. In my opinion, it means the exact opposite. It shows you that you have strength. You have the strength to get through whatever you might be struggling with. I think that struggles show strength and not weakness. And lastly, the right people don't need you to be invulnerable, because they are there to listen. They're there to be there for you, not turn their back when you need them the most, because they know that in the end that you would do the same thing for them. For example, if you have a family member or a friend or anyone that is struggling, going through a hard time, thinking bad about themselves, thinking that they would be less of a burden if they weren't here kind of thing, in reality, we're going to do everything we can to try to help them feel better, to try to navigate through that and through those struggles, because we know deep down that they're not a burden and that we aren't better off without them, and that we love them and that we are there for them no matter what, that we are here to listen and to give an ear, a shoulder to cry on, whatever it is that they might need. So I want you to talk to yourself when you are having negative thoughts of any kind, how you would to your friend or family member who might be struggling. You have to remind yourself every single day that you are important and you matter, no matter what. I hope that everybody has an amazing day, and I love you guys. And I want you to know that I am proud of every single one of you.